This is how you strip a tub.
Wait till it gets here.
Okay. Do you want some of that aircraft stripper, or are we gonna use this stripper?
I'm gonna try that one. You know, just because I didn't have it, I'll
Yeah.
do it.
All right. It's pretty strong.
This is the ammonia shit.
Yeah.
Okay. This is, you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Don't use this shit.
Not good.
You don't need it.
Okay.
Now, for what the products that are out here, I don't know what this even costs, but I don't like this one. I don't like that ammonia stuff.
Yeah. That stuff is pretty deadly.
Don't.
That's what we use those machines.
Yeah, okay. So, with that in mind,
Mm.
this is Home Depot bought. Okay,
Big
better.
difference. Yeah.
Okay, not as pungent.
Yeah.
All right, so we had to strip this bathtub. First thing I did is, first thing we want to do is remove all the caulking around the edge of the bathtub. Okay, the perimeter. Get all your caulking off. Get the majority of everything you can. You don't have to be sanding it smooth at this point because the stripper will break the release of any silicone that's remaining on there. But I would take the time to remove all the caulk first. Okay. We already have our overflow off. So once I got my caulking off, I'm going to paper off the bottom outside apron of the tub. So I paper the floor off. What this does is it gives me an area to, A, I'm protecting the floor, B, as my material's coming off, I scoop it out and I throw it on my paper. It becomes my garbage can, in essence, towards the end. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to get this stuff, this stuff on, off, and out, okay? Things to keep in mind, in this particular room, this is cultured marble walls, so paint stripper will ruin cultured marble, it will ruin plastic tub surrounds, softer materials. You have to know what you can and cannot put things on. So in this particular case, this paint that's on here is not very good. So while they already removed the caulk, they did remove a lot of the paint just by scraping it off around there. So we really don't need to get paint stripper up anywhere near these walls. But in a case where you're not very good with the control of things, or we didn't do any of this and there's paint all the way up to the walls, this is another little trick we can do to protect our walls from getting damaged. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, I would take tape and create like a little border all the way around. So it gives me a layer of protection so that the paint stripper doesn't melt this surround. And when I do this, a couple cents worth of tape is a lot cheaper than replacing these walls. So what I'm going to do is I double it up. It just gives me a nice layer of protection so that in case something accidentally gets on here, then it's not going to ruin it. And the same could be said quite often. You'll have this wall will come right up to the tub. And you may not have, it may just be painted walls or whatever. In that particular case, double or triple your tape. Okay, maybe put a piece of paper, double and triple it, just so that while you're putting stuff on or scraping things off, it's not flying out of here and then ruining someone's finish in their house. Okay, so that's kind of the logic behind that. So I got my area around the tub prepared, we'll call it. I don't want anything going down the drain. Okay, so I just take a little piece of tissue and we're to stuff it in there. Okay, that way I know as I'm scraping, I'm not going to clog up their drain. I'm not going to be responsible for that. All right, now in this case I need the vent in here. Whenever we're working with paint strippers, anything that is hazardous, we want to make sure we have good ventilation. And in addition to that, you could either make sure you have good ventilation, good air movement, so your environment stays clean. And also that if you can't, the other alternative is fresh air masks and equipment, or at least a respirator with the proper cartridges. Normally, if you're using a cartridge system and you're stripping a tub, that's it for that cartridge, okay? Because those vapors will get embedded in there, and ultimately you'll just be breathing them in. So they're kind of a one-time use when you're using some of these strippers. I prefer not to use the ammonia-based ones. I just don't think they're necessary, and I don't like the smells. This one is Home Depot, Jasco. It'll work just fine for the majority, if not almost all the products that are out there are not very good. So it doesn't take much to get these off. All right, so the way I do it is I'll just take my my stripper. Now, if we come to a job and we need to test to see is this stuff going to come off. A simple way, just have your razor blade scraper and just see, oh, if I do that, I know this stuff is coming off. If I do this and it kind of digs in, I may want to just take some stripper and just kind of drop it on the side like that. Go outside, get the rest of your equipment going and get things situated, give it a few minutes, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll see, does this material react with the stripper? And if it does, and it starts to come off, then we apply it everywhere, and then we can strip it. What we don't want to do is just come in and assume, you know, that, okay, I'm going to strip this whole thing, cover the whole damn thing, and then you realize, wow, this was some sort of epoxy that was much stronger. At that point, now you got to rinse all this off, you wasted material, and at that point you would sand it and then straighten it all out, quote unquote, and sand it and then spray over it. When you have all these polyurethanes and things that are out there, they'll strip. But again, a simple test would just take a good blade. If you can do this, it's going to come off. So we know we'll be all right. So what we're going to do is just pour this on now liberally. Pour it in the bottom. I usually will drape it on the walls. You know, let it come down like so. Okay. Take a simple dollar brush, brush this stuff on. Okay. Now, like I was saying before, here we already have this removed. Okay, but if you were doing this and all this was painted, just take your brush and just go like this. You know, I'm not touching the tape, I'm just keeping it like this. All right, and go around doing it in that way. So what I do is I'm just going to spread all this pretty much on the bottom, because the majority of our material is going to be on there. If it's thick anywhere, it'll be thick on the bottom. So that's where we're going to start. Just spread it out. And I'm not doing it in a way like this, so I'm not putting material on. When you're putting things on, like a stripper, you kind of give your brush an angle so the material comes off. If you keep it like this and do this, you're just smearing it and you're not going to get a good concentration on there. So you just kind of tilt your hand and kind of give it some love. All right. So we did all of our bottoms, so now what we're going to do is just kind of start at the top and let it rain down on these walls. And once you can already see it bubbling. It wasn't very good. So we'll just kind of work our way around. I'm just kind of, again, just layering it on there. Just layer this stuff on. Okay. So let that kind of go. Now the outside of the tub. Okay. This is where you're going to have the least amount of material. All right. Because no one wants runs. There's not a lot of wear. They just kind of, most companies just give it a little hit. So you're probably just not going to need as much stripper. So again, what I do is I just pour it on the rim like this. Okay, you can hear snap, crackle, pop. Okay, And
We
then,
didn't throw like that with the brush.
Hmm?
We only use the brush, we didn't.
yeah, so this is just, we call this kind of like let it rain down a little bit, you know. If you pour it on the rim, and then you can just come across this way, and it just kind of lets it start to come down the wall. Because otherwise, it's just a little more challenging to put this stuff on.
Of course, we were more scared about that one.
Ye-
Safety issues. And
Yeah, okay.
we
So,
were being pretty.
Yeah.
right, yeah, you know,
Careful.
always err on the side of safety. Now look at how quickly this is popping. Again, these guys that are out there, they put just a little on the outside, so it's not much. So if you use just use less stripper, okay? It's going to work. And what's the benefits of using less stripper? Well, now if say we have a linoleum floor, a floor that's susceptible to
Does it go through the paper?
right, we have it doubled up, doubled our tape.
Is there a way that you can go?
Yeah, I
Through
mean,
it?
sure. If you just left this, and you know left all this and like and it ran down like something like this. Say you had this, you put a bunch on, and you did that, okay, and you let a lot of it puddle on the bottom. And if this floor was like a linoleum or a very pliable or soft material, those stick down tiles, chances are you're gonna mess up that. There's a clear coat they put over it, and you're gonna ruin that. It's gonna bubble up. Okay. So behaviors that I do is I do my best. In this case, we know we have a ceramic floor, so we're gonna be fine. But in this case, if we had something that was a challenging floor or something I was concerned about, I may double my paper again, put extra tape. It's all those little things that cost nothing that prevents the damage from happening. And if something gets on here, you know, and I don't like it, then I just take my scraper and get rid of it. You know, put it back in the tub for now. You know, just take it out. Okay, throw it back in there. It doesn't matter. Or take a wet sponge and just kind of neutralize it a little bit. Okay, and just so we're making it safe. All right.
We were using a plastic cup to put the.
So we're kind of dipping and pouring instead of pouring it on the brim. We had a cup.
Okay, well you
Yeah.
saw what I did.
Yeah.
So normally I do wear gloves with this, okay, when I do this. Something I like to protect my hands, it burns, you know. Do you have any black gloves out there in this
Yeah.
case? Can I have some?
Well, no black, but we have
Give me something, I don't know. Do you have those disposable ones?
yeah.
Spend
This
them.
one, it say it protects against chemicals.
Yeah, okay.
Every day.
The other, I've used, these are, again, the black ones. Be careful, guys, when you're sitting on these things, and you can, but there's only cantilever out. And
Yeah.
You don't want to break it, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to make some space.
I know. So basically, these are fine, but I spend a little more for black ones. You start buying things in bulk, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just better. They'll last so much longer. You know.
Yeah, those.
They'll disintegrate.
That stripper was going through those.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So what I do again is I work just like when we acid wash inside out. I'm going to go now outside in. Why? Because I want a place to lean and rest my arms. If I start stripping in here, I'm getting all this stuff all over me. I'm dragging it around the house, you know, whatever. So no, let's get rid of all this first, and then we'll focus on that. So this is a no-brainer. See how I throw stuff, and that's why it's important, you know, be aware of your surroundings so that you want to protect wherever you might be pushing things.
Yeah, that stripper is pretty bad.
Change your angle to the contour of the tub. There's a little a belt line here, so instead of going this way, it's kind of coming down on it. It's a little more effective. Okay. at this point, this rim was already stripped, but what I would do is just push it all in there. So we talked about earlier, okay, our floor, our floor might get damaged, so let's just take this out of here. And we'll just throw it in here. Okay, let's get it out of the way. All right, last thing I want to do at this point, because I want to rest my body and have a place so I'm not stressing myself out, making it harder. Let's just give this a little wipe. Okay, now I got a clean area. If you're still a little concerned about burning your arms, take a piece of paper towel and like that. Okay? I'm sure my knee pads. Okay, so now let's just work our way around tub. Where do you think I'm going to start? Over there. Okay, that's how I always am. All right, so here I'm just going to see how that helped me? And now if you get something on here, obviously just wipe it off right away. It'll be fine. I do this in sections at a time. Don't get overwhelmed by the job. Not all tubs strip this easily. Some are a little more challenging, but you have to do it section at a time. Again, keep your tool in the best angle with the surface.
See the speed that he's working at? And how it just gets in there? I kind of want to pick up our speed and go a lot faster.
Okay, another little trick. Since a lot of this stuff is coming off, take your wide blade. Give it a quick hit. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So let's keep moving here, right? So I want to finish. I'll show you how to do corners here. This one's hard for you to video and capture. But so I'm just gonna, again, I try to work from this curve down. And I go this way. It's about efficiency. I still have one blade. I only use one blade so far. Switch hands. If something is tough and it's not coming off, skip the area, reapply more material. So you might have some puddle in the bottom. If something's a little hard, just go like this, move on to the next section, come back, it'll come right off. So now I'm going to work in this area, so I'll move my waste pile back this way. We're in really good shape so far. Okay, I'll work on this side. Let's come back this way. Nothing. Save the battery. I'll tell you when you can